What is going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So the markets didn't have the best day today. We had the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ all go down about 0.7%, and we had the Russell go down about 0.5%. So we got to break it down, go over some charts, some stocks, my thoughts on the markets, plus more. So sit back, relax, hit the like button, check out my Patreon down below if you guys want my buys, sells, call outs, morning update videos, plus more. All of that's on Patreon. And with that being said, let's get the party started. So today, like I said in the intro, was not the best day. It was pretty rough out there, and we had red pretty much all across the board, even though a lot of individual stocks were green. And that's what you notice, guys. Just because the markets are all in the red, the Russell, the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, doesn't mean that every single stock out there is red, which we will talk about some of these that did have green days today. But first, let's go over SPY. Then we'll talk a little bit about the Russell. I do want to talk about some small caps here, my thoughts on that. And you guys can see, we've been talking about this for quite some time here, or at least it seems like it's been quite some time. In reality, it's been about 3-4 trading days we've been talking about this, but SPY has been failing day after day after it's had a couple of good green days in a row. It did last week. After that, it's been failing day after day at this 180 moving average on the 4-hour chart. Same with QQQ. I mean, these technicals are pretty dang identical. You guys can see QQQ's failing right by 370, 360, right by this 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart. Same exact thing with, like I just said, SPY. And at this point in time, SPY is hanging on by a thread above the 50 moving average and above on this 20-day chart. Let's pop it up right above the neckline of the inverse head and shoulder that we covered in my previous video from earlier today, which you guys should definitely go check that out. We covered Chinese stocks and how they rebounded pretty heavily today in that video and the reason why they did. So check it out after this video if you guys are interested. And as long as SPY is holding above this neckline, there could be a chance we do see some sort of relief rally right above this 180 moving average on the 20-day chart, and going back to the 4-hour chart right around the 50 moving average, right? So there's still hope for the bulls. There is 100%. You know, if we hold this point at 444, which as of now, or 434 rather, which as of now we could get that relief rally, and maybe the inverse head and shoulder does play out. But the second, and I mean the second, guys, we break under 433, 434, we see that leg down towards the head in the inverse head and shoulder pattern. That is a sign that bulls, or rather the bears, are back in charge. We're going to probably take the lows out at that point, and that would not be pretty at all. But again, now that we're holding 434, the neckline, there's still hope that we bounce back up. We just have to wait and see if we actually bounce back up, right? So watch out for SPY in terms of that, what I just said. And for QQQ, I mean, this one's already under the 50 moving average on the 4-hour chart. And let's see, is this forming an inverse head and shoulder as well? Kind of looks like it. The neckline is right around 358, which is literally where we are now. So be careful on this, guys. You know, if 358 breaks, we start going, mid-low 350s, right? This could be taking the lows out, no doubt about it. Again, especially if we start breaking this neckline. So keep an eye on the inverse head and shoulders forming on QQQ and SPY. And let's quickly take a look at the Russell, which I've been reading some articles out there, and a lot of people have been saying the small caps could start ripping heading into the latter half of, well, we're already in the latter half of the year, but heading into the end of the year here, the next couple of months, and this could maybe start bringing up the markets, because you guys can see Russell, the Russell 2000, has been flat for the past, let's see here, wow, eight months, over 8 months. You guys can see it's been trading between roughly 21.30 on the bottom end and about 23.50 on the top end. So it's been trading between, this little 200-point window pretty religiously. I mean, it hasn't broken under 2130 and it hasn't broken above 2350. So it's pretty consistently trading in this. So I want to see if we start getting direction in the Russell. It probably won't happen this week, next week, but over the next couple of months, maybe even into 2022, the brand new year, maybe we do start breaking out. And the longer term chart looks pretty bullish to me still, right? We had a huge rip after the March 2020 crash from 966 to about 2360, right? Which was a very quick bounce back, very quick double up and some, right? And now we, again, like I just said, we've been consolidating, and now we're right by that 50 moving average on this 3-year chart, to the point where if we bounce off of this moving average, right, and we start ripping out of the top of the channel, which again is 2350, that could be where the Russell sees the next leg up, the next breakout, which thus could probably drag the entire markets up. We'll see how it goes down. It's going to be interesting to watch. But that is something worth watching for, not only for today, this week, next week, just for the next couple of weeks, next couple of months in general. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Drop me a comment down below. And if you all are enjoying this video, hit the like button. I did do a like challenge on Friday. I think it was 150 likes. We didn't get it, which makes sense. It's a Friday video. But since this is a Monday video, let's see if we can bring it. Can we get at least 150 likes? Maybe even way more than that. Let's try and do it. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, guys. And let's talk about some stocks now that are doing very well today, even though the markets, like I just went over, didn't do so well today at all. And stock number one is SoFi, ticker symbol SOFI. And you guys on my Patreon know that I actually called this out earlier in the day when SoFi was at 1750. Now it's at 1840 almost. It had a 13% green day, which is crazy. And you may be asking yourself, why? Why did it have a 13% green day? Well, you're lucky, because I'm about to tell you. It's because of Morgan Stanley, right? Morgan Stanley initiated coverage on SoFi with an overweight rating and a $25 price target. And I got some, insight, not like some insider trading crap, nothing like that, guys. But I don't know why I even worded it that way. What am I trying to say here? I was watching CNBC. Some people were telling me they were watching CNBC. SoFi was pretty much plastered all over CNBC today for a good amount of time. So that's bringing a lot of spotlight to the company. Morgan Stanley with the $25 price target. A lot of the time, that's all it takes to move a company like SoFi, which, let's be honest, is not a massive company. Let me pop up the market cap here. How big is SoFi? 14 billion. Okay, it's not a mega small cap, but it's not a large cap by any stretch of the imagination. So, yeah, SoFi is moving today. It's breaking out of the ascending triangle, which is a very bullish sign here. We broke out of the high from the end of September. We broke out of the high from the middle of August. Now it looks like we want to push to 20 again, maybe 1990, 20, which was right around the high point from the beginning of March, middle of March as well. Let me drag this trend line out so you guys can see what I'm talking about. There we go. You guys can see that's the next big gap to fill, in my opinion. So keep your eyes out on SoFi going to 20 plus. It might not happen this week, next week, a couple weeks from now, considering it is overbought right now, but maybe in a couple of weeks it does. Let me not say that, but probably not this week. I'd be pretty surprised if this shot up to $20 this week, but you never know. We got to watch the momentum here on SoFi. Enphase, ENPH, is another one that did well today. It had a 4.5% green day, up $7. It closed a little bit above $161 per share, and you guys can see it filled the gap towards the top of this downwards channel. And it also broke out, this was actually last week, it broke out of the 50 moving average. Now it filled the gap again to the top of the channel and right by that 180 moving average resistance. And I believe this could be, it might not be though, but it could be, which is why we're watching it, the point where end phase breaks out of this channel and sees that very wanted leg up that it's been waiting to to see these past couple of months, since end phase really hasn't been bullish at all in the past couple of months. So I'm going to put an alert at $165 for this stock. If it breaks out of there, guys, the 180 moving average starts breaking out of the top of this downwards trend, this could start seeing 170, 175, 180 again. No doubt about it, on momentum there. So keep your eyes out on end phase. Tesla is another one I'm looking at, which is in an ascending triangle right now. Remember SoFi? We just looked at it. SoFi's ascending triangle is playing out. Let's go back to that. You can see it's squeezing out of the resistance, but Tesla is not there yet, but it could be tomorrow it happens, the next day. It's kind of like a ticking time bomb, right? And a ticking time bomb in a good way, not a bad way. You can see clearly the resistance is at about 800. We've been uptrending for the past couple of months, weeks as well, into that 800 resistance, and I think ultimately we're going to squeeze out of there. Oh, and I just realized earnings are coming up. Is this Monday, Tuesday next week? On the 20th of October, which is, let me double check that, guys. What day is that? That is on Wednesday next week. So about 9 days, exactly 9 calendar days from today, we're going to be seeing Tesla earnings, which I'm excited for, as I am a shareholder in the company. And I've been transparent with you guys. It's not a huge position for me like it is for a lot of YouTubers out there where they're like, oh, half my money's in Tesla, 3/4 of it's in Tesla. For me, even though I like Tesla, guys, that is ridiculous amount of risk for me to take, to put all my money in a company like Tesla, which, let's be honest, could arguably be a tad bit overvalued today. That's just my opinion. It could be a little bit the way you value it, or it might not be the way you value it. But for me, I'm in at a lower price, and I would consider it a tad bit, maybe a little frothy here. But it doesn't mean I'm selling it. I'm just holding on, and it's a smaller position for me. And I'm just giving it to you guys real. I'm being real. It's not like an 80% position for me. Nothing close to that. Nor will it ever be. But it is going to be in my portfolio for quite some time. Even if it crashes, tanks, I'm still going to hold it. I might even buy more at that point. But at this point, it's not crashing. It's getting ready to break out, which is why we got to get our alerts locked and ready, guys. So in this case, I'm going to put one at 800 per share. There we go. So if it breaks out, I'll be the first to know. Well, millions of people will probably know, since they all have alerts for the most part out there. But hey, we'll be able to catch the move, hopefully. Etsy's another one, ETSY, that I'm looking at here. It sold off today. It had a 4.5% red day, down almost $10 per share. It closed a tad bit over $200 a share. And what you guys are seeing here is it's towards the bottom of the wedge, right? We held the low back in August, beginning of August, at about 175. The next low was held at about 195. That was just a couple days ago. Then we saw a big push to 220. Now we're back to 205. So will this be another higher low for Etsy? Will it hold the wedge? Will we get a rebound back to 210, 215? That's kind of what I'm waiting for, right? So I'm going to put an alert at 205 for Etsy. If it's able to get out of there, guys, don't be surprised if it starts pushing 215, 212. But the second it breaks the wedge here, the support of the wedge, that is, and the second it takes out 195, the low from the 4th of October, a week ago, that would be a bad sign for the bulls. I would not touch it at that point, but as long as it's in this wedge, I'm considering it in play. So keep your eyes out on Etsy. Pinterest is another one, PINS, which it's just begging for a move. It's screaming for a move at this point. It's been so quiet for Pinterest. I mean, ever since they reported their earnings back in the end of July, this has been a dead stock. Literally, you might as well go bury it in your backyard. The stock has been dead from $56. Now it's $50. It's just been a slow, long period of just dying, man. I mean, this thing has just sucked. It's down 15% from that after the earnings report. And don't even get me started on what it was before the earnings report. It was $75, and then the next day it tanked to $57. So from $75 to $50, it is down 35%. So I think Pinterest could be a sleeper play. A lot of people are not looking at it, I'd say, at this point. Sure, a lot of people are, but at the same time, a lot aren't. Clearly, by the way the stock trend, the trend's looking. So I think with earnings coming up here on the 27th, listen, guys, that's in 2 weeks. If they surprise, they beat EPS, revenue, guidance looks good. Don't be surprised if we see a move to the upside. Maybe not as drastically as the downside move we saw, but let's say it popped 10% on a surprise earnings report. Now that everyone thinks it's in the gutter, that would not surprise me. So I'm watching Pinterest here at the bottom of the channel. I'm going to put an alert at $55, see what it does right around that 55 or 180 moving average on the 4-hour chart, which is at around 55. So maybe I'll put it at 54 actually. Yeah, let's do $54. Keep your eyes on Pinterest, guys. And I'm also seeing a little bullish divergence here as well, which is a decent sign for you bulls out there and for all you that have been patient holding Pinterest at about $50, which I know at least one of you out there watching is in this stock, which I'm personally not. I might consider buying it soon, but as of now, I'm just holding out on it, but we'll see. LRCX, Lam Research, is another one that I'm looking at, which is towards the bottom of a downwards channel, kind of like Pinterest, and it recently sold off from 620 now to 550. It is down about 11% in the past week or two, which puts it in a bear market with earnings coming up here on the 20th, which is 9 days from today. So I'm just very simply looking to see if Lam Research could make a move back towards the top of this channel, which it has done countless times over the past couple of months. I mean, you guys can see it for yourselves, right? Back in April, we saw that rally from 600 to 650, right? Back in May, we rallied from 550 to about 670. You know, we've done this many times. You guys can see it for yourselves. Even as early as the end of August, we rallied from 560 to about 620. So I'm looking to see if Lam could do that yet again. So keep your eyes on it. I'm also seeing a bullish divergence on this one. So that is a good sign. I'll probably put my alert. Well, I am putting my alert. You guys are seeing it real time here. I'm putting it at 560. So we'll see what it does there. And another one that I've been talking about a decent amount here is AMAT, Applied Materials, which also I'm seeing a bullish divergence on it, kind of. Yeah, actually, I'm seeing a bullish divergence on this one. So I'm being very patient on it. I'm waiting to see if we start breaking out of this 130 level. Do we break out of the 50 moving average at about 130, 132? We start breaking out of 133 as well, right around the 180 moving average. This would be a good sign, a good play in my opinion, up towards that 140, 145 level, as you guys can see based on this oval right here. So keep your eyes on Applied Materials, Lam Research, Pinterest, Etsy, Tesla, Enphase, SoFi, and also go and do some more research on the Russell 2000. I think that could be setting up for a move here. I agree with the other analysts that have been talking about it in the articles I've been reading. I really agree with that. I think it's slept on a little bit right now. So what are your thoughts? Drop me a comment down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Again, I challenge you guys, let's get at least 150 likes, probably even more than that. That would be awesome. Make sure to do that. Subscribe and check out my Patreon if you guys want my buys, sells, call outs, morning update videos, and a bunch of other awesome stuff. That's all on Patreon, link down below, or you can go to StockSurfFest.com/Patreon. That's StockSurfFest.com/Patreon. Make sure to also get your $30 from M1 Finance or 2 stocks from Webull, and check out my video from earlier. I'll pop it up here. And with that being said, I'll catch you all later in that video. If you guys want to see my thoughts on the Chinese stocks moving today, check that out. I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching again. As always, keep crushing the markets. Stay safe out there. Peace out, guys.